Okay, so guys, now that we're getting into problems, we're going to focus a lot on what I spoke about before. We are focusing on strategy, okay? We're going to go through theory, but we're also going to go a lot into strategy because that's what you need to do to exceed in this class, all right? You need to have a system when solving these problems, all right? So let's read it quickly and let's break it down. So MENA company specializes in manufacturing motorcycle helmets. The company has enough orders to keep factory production at 1,000 helmets per month. I want you guys to highlight that. 1,000 helmets per month. That is our production. That is how much we're making. MENA's monthly manufacturing costs and other expense data are as follows. Okay, we see a bunch of costs here, and let's just put it like 1, 2, 3. Let's just label them. 4, 1 second, guys. 5, 6, 7. Back to elementary school with the counting. 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. It's accounting because we got to count. All right, now everyone, let's read required. So prepare an answer sheet with the following column headings: cost item, direct materials, direct labor, manufacturing, overhead, period costs. In each cost item on your answer sheet, placing the dollar amount under the appropriate heading. Okay, so this is what we're going to do, guys. Let's build the column. So first off, we have cost item over here. Let's build this little sheet that they asked us to make. Cost item. All right. Then we have DM, DL, MOH. Sorry if my lines aren't straight. And then we have period expenses, PE. Okay? All right, guys. Now, this is how we're going to start. Let's put the cost here. So 0.1, 2, 3, just write all down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Right? Not the most straight lines down here. Actually, I'll just fix it. Takes a second. All right, I know this is maybe upsetting some people that the lines are so messy. But, oh wait, why isn't this going straight? Okay, so we got our little column over here. Now, guys, I'm going to show you how we do this and what we're supposed to do. So first off, guys, we're going to go through each cost, and we have to put it in the correct column. So right now, we're going through essentially the first way we classify costs as product or period costs. So as always, I'm going to give you guys some time to solve, and you guys are going to see this through the semester. I always like to give 2 or 3 minutes, but I'll solve like the first 2 with you. So let's read point number 1 here, all right? Because we have to find out what cost this is. So we see maintenance costs on the factory building. Okay, guys, when breaking down this problem, I first have to determine, is this factory building like something I use to produce the product or something to sell the product? So guys, maintenance costs on the factory building. First off, is it a product cost or a period cost? What do you guys think? The maintenance cost on the factory building. Any guesses? Product or period? Factory says it all. It is a product cost. That's good. That's the first thing we do. Because remember, guys, the logic, if we see factory here, that is for production. All right? Remember, you make things out of a factory and you sell things out of a store. All right? Because it says factory, that's something to do with production, therefore is a product cost. All right? So now that we know this is a product cost, we know there are 3 different types of product cost. We have DM, we have DL, we have MOH. Now we have to figure out, guys, this is essentially how we're breaking it down. Do we see, when we look at a product, okay, if we're looking at a motorcycle helmet, you motorcycle riders out there, if you're looking at your motorcycle helmet, can you complement like the maintenance cost on the factory building? Do you guys see that on the final product itself? Do you X-ray vision? What do you guys think? Do you see the maintenance cost on the factory building on a motorcycle helmet? What do you think? Is that something I can see with my own eyes? Is that something I can touch, physically grab, count? What do you think? No. So if I can't see it in the product itself, what is the part of? I see an MOH there, and that is exactly it. That is how you break down these problems, guys. First off, determine if it's involved in making the product or selling it. Then you have to determine, hey, is this something I can actually see to the product? Is this something on the product itself, or is this something I need to produce the product, right? Remember the whole example of like electricity. You can't see electricity on the product itself. Needless to say, you need to account for it. All right? So maintenance cost on the factory building is a product cost. Because I can't see it, it is MOH. Does everyone understand how we break down these problems? All right, so you're putting $1,300 here in this MOH. Okay? Now, guys, let's go to a factory manager's salary, number 2. All right, guys, factory manager salary, is this for producing the product or selling the product? What do you guys think? Is it product cost or period cost? Write me which. Does everyone agree that that is a product cost? Because the factory managers in the factory helping, bossing around the employees who produce the product. Now, guys, good. You figured out that's a product cost because you saw like the cheat word right away. You saw factory. If not, it's like a harder question. But like if they tell you factory, you know product cost. Now, guys, determine, does the factory manager actually touch the product or not? Because remember, that's the difference between DL and IL, direct labor and indirect labor. The direct labor worker actually works on the product. He or she physically puts their hands on it. Whereas the indirect labor worker, well, you need that type of labor, but they aren't actually working on the product itself. So guys, is this overhead or is this direct labor? What do you guys think? You guys think MOH? Does everyone agree MOH? Because that is the right answer. It is manufacturing overhead. Now guys, why do you think this is manufacturing overhead? Why is the factory manager salary MOH instead of DL? Why do you think? What do you guys think? Just write it in chat. I'll give you guys a second. I really want to like drill in these concepts. I don't want you screwing it up. Exactly. Guys, let's think of the CEO of Apple. Okay, let's see Tim Cook. Are you ever going to see Tim Cook making an iPhone, guys? Seriously. Like, unless some ridiculous PR stunt, okay? You're never going to see a manager, CEO, whoever, like making the product. They don't physically touch it. It's not DL. Okay? For it to be DL, it has to be on the assembly line. The person has to be physically touching it. All right? So that's very good. I want you guys to see how we break down these problems. Number 3, advertising for helmets. Is this a product cost or a period cost? What do you guys think? Product or period? Advertising for helmets. Is it producing or selling? Good. I see a lot of period costs there. That is 100% right. If you're advertising the helmet, that has nothing to do with production. You advertise to get the product sold. Therefore, it is a period cost. So we put it in the period cost heading. Okay, let's do 4 now. Sales commissions. All right, guys, is sales commission a product cost or a period cost? Is a sales commission involved with producing or selling? What do you think? Does everyone agree that that is I see period cost? Awesome, right on the money, guys. If you're a commission, guys, it's the money you get after you make a sale. So you guys are right on the money here. Good job. So sales commissions, point number 4, $5,000. Let's put in the period cost column. Okay, next up. Depreciation on the factory building. All right. What do we think here? Is that a product cost or a period cost? Is depreciation on the factory building product or period? What do you guys think? Product cost, MOH. Okay, first off, you guys got product cost, right? That's good, all right? Because it's factory, that's producing. Now, guys, when we're looking at our motorcycle helmets, do you see factory depreciation on there? Do you have X-ray vision? Is factory depreciation DM or DL? What do you guys think factory depreciation is? If you look at like a motorcycle helmet, you say cool depreciation, you should probably like, you're just a nerd. Like, who says that? Okay. That is overhead without a doubt. Okay. You can't see depreciation on a final product. All right. If your product depreciates the second you buy it, probably return it. All right. Anyways. Actually, it does depreciate the second you buy it. So don't return things just because they depreciate. That's a lie. All right, I was just trying to make it a point for effect, okay? You don't see depreciation on a product, therefore, it's MOH. All right, guys, now that we're at point 6, this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to give you guys 2 to 3 minutes. I want you to go all the way to 13. All right? I'm actually going to give you 3 minutes, okay? So at 4:15, go. Okay, guys, it's 4:15. Let's get into solving this problem as a team. You know, we're going to get through this together, okay? All right, now let's go. We're at point number 6. So rent on the factory equipment. Guys, rent on factory equipment, is that a product cost or a period cost? What do you guys think? Rent on factory equipment. What do you guys think? Product, good, because you see factory, right? It's factory equipment. Now, guys, is it DM, DL, or MOH? It is manufacturing overhead. Good. I see a bunch of MOHs. When you see the motorcycle helmets, you cannot see the cost of rent of the factory equipment on there. Okay. So let's put that rent of factory equipment in MOH, and that is $6,000. Oops. Why did I erase that? There we go. Okay, next up, insurance on factory building. All right, guys, product cost or period cost? What do you guys think? Product or period? Product? Does everyone agree that it is a product cost? And it is MOH. I see. That's awesome, guys. Okay, you guys already beat me to it, right? It's insurance. You're looking at a motorcycle helmet. You don't see the insurance bill. All right? So you guys so far, like, absolutely crushing it. Really impressed so far. All right? Not to say that you guys won't let me down. Kidding. You guys will never let me down. I'm happy you guys are working hard. Now, 8. Okay, point 8. Raw material used. Plastic, polyester. So guys, this is where it starts to get complicated a little bit, okay? We have to know what we're making. And I spoke about this a little bit before. We were making motorcycle helmets. So guys, like plastic and polyester, right? We agree that first off, that's a product cost, right? You don't like, plastic is not a selling expense. Okay, so now we have to determine, we know it's a product cost, all right? So now we have to determine if it's DM or MOH. Now guys, a motorcycle helmet, do we physically see the plastic on it? Do you see plastic when you look at a motorcycle helmet? Yes, therefore it is direct material, okay? You can go see the amount of plastic on that helmet, track it, trace it, and you know how much it costs. It's not indirect, okay? So that's $20,000 for point number 8. 20 G's. Okay, point number 9, utility cost for factory. Okay, utility cost for factory. Is that product cost or period cost? Product cost. So when we look at our motorcycle helmet, do you see the heating bill? Is that something you can physically see on the product? I hope you guys say no, because yeah, it's MOH. Good job. Point number 9, MOH 800. Okay, point number 10, supplies for the general office. Guys, is that a product cost or a period cost? Period cost. Why is that a period cost? Because we see the word office. We use an office to sell, for sales, okay? Hope that's very clear with everyone, okay? You see office, you see store, you assume that is used for selling, you assume a factory is used for making. So you guys are right on the ball. Good job. So supplies for general office, 200. Let's put that right in there. $200. Now, wages for assembly line workers, 55,000. Okay, assembly line workers. We know that's a product cost, right? Because they're on the assembly line. Now we have to determine if it's DL or MOH. The wage for assembly line workers, is it DL or MOH? What do you guys think? DL? Why is it DL? Be the TA. Explain it to me. Break it down for your classmates. Now's the time to flex. Why is it DL? Because they're working on the product directly, right? If they're on the assembly line, they're like, you know, like, I don't know how to make a motorcycle helmet, but I assume you put like the glass in place and like maybe you weld the helmet. What do I know about, like, never actually worked a factory in a day of my life. But I'm going to assume that's what the assembly line workers do. Okay, they're on the assembly line. They're literally on the conveyor belt, touching it, doing work. All right, that is why it's DL. Does everyone understand that? So the answer to 11 is DL, so put the 55 G's in the DL column. Okay, 12, depreciation on office equipment. Is that a product cost or a period cost? So guys, I see a lot of period costs here. I even saw an MOH answer. It's okay. This is the place, like I always say, guys, always in my tutorials, last semester, if you guys watch the videos, I always say you make the mistakes here, not on your exam. That's why I want you guys to answer. I want you to screw up here and then know on your exam you're not going to make that same mistake. So guys, we see depreciation here, and a lot of you think that that is MOH right away, because I even used that in my example, and I gave you MOH examples, depreciation. Guys, but it's your office equipment is depreciating. You use your office equipment to sell products, not to make products. So depreciation of anything office related is a period cost. So that's where you'll put this 500. Okay? Because it said office here, we use an office to sell, and because that's depreciating, that is a period cost. Okay? Does everyone understand that? Is that okay? We have to determine what is depreciating, and that's like a very common trick, right? You see depreciation, a lot of students just go to MOH, and that's an okay mistake to make like right now, but you're not gonna be making that mistake on the day of your exam. Product cost can be MOH because MOH can be directly involved in production of the good. Product cost can be MOH. Product costs are MOH because MOH is not directly involved though. Not directly involved, but it's needed. So if I were to restructure that sentence, I would say product costs are MOH because product costs are MOH, period, they are indirectly involved. So you don't actually see them on the product, but like, remember what I said, MOH is like support activities in the manufacturing process. It's stuff you need to make the product, but it's not available on the product. So just think of like support activities. Remember, think of like the hiring manager. Think about like the utilities bill, stuff that you need to make the product that's not on the product. All right, it's all indirectly involved. The word indirect just means you can't see it, you can't trace it to the product. That's it. That's what indirect means. You can't trace it to the product because you can't see it. Is that okay? If it's not okay, ask me after. Please don't be shy with any question. All right, perfect. All right, now guys, let's do this next one. Miscellaneous materials in production, glue, thread, etc. Okay, so we see in production here. So we know it's a product cost. All right? Now, when we're looking at a motorcycle helmet, do we see glue, thread, whatever? Even says here, miscellaneous materials. All right? So guys, I see a couple MOHs, and to that, congratulations, you're right. That is manufacturing overhead, because you cannot see glue and thread on your motorcycle helmet. If you see an item on the store covered in glue, I wouldn't recommend buying it. All right? So, everyone, we have now found the totals for everything. Now what I'm gonna ask you guys to do is let's go find the totals of each column. Let's add it up. So for DM, we spent a total of 20K. For DL, we spent a total of 55K. All right, now for MOH, can anyone go do that calculation for me quickly? I would really appreciate it. As a matter of fact, guys, always check me on calculations. When I'm teaching tutorials, I'm more focused on explaining. As a result, calculation errors sometimes happen. So I'm gonna go do it, but I encourage you guys to go do it as well. And just be like, write in chat if I ever make like a calculation error, be like, Matt, you put that in wrong. I'm just doing it right now on my calculator. Did everyone get 17,800? Can everyone confirm that with me? Yes? Awesome. Can someone write the period expense? I'm pretty sure I could do that in my head. So that's what, 13,700? Is that the answer for the period expenses? I swear, guys, on exams, I'm that type of person to do 1 + 1 on my calculator because I'm just so scared of making a dumb mistake. All right, so we're good. All right, we have the totals of everything. Now, guys, for part B, find me the cost of producing one helmet. Okay, I'm going to give you guys two minutes. All right, at 4:25, we're going to solve that together. Go. All right, guys, time's up. Let's go. So everyone, first off, find the cost to produce one helmet. I want you guys to highlight that here because it's very important. Find the cost of producing it, okay? What they're asking you is, if they're asking for the cost of producing it, they're asking you for the product cost, okay? So when they tell you produce, that is the same as product costs, which is the same as the manufacturing cost. What is the cost to make it? Well, my writing's really bad there. Manufacturing cost. All right, what is the cost of making it? So guys, when we're doing the equation for total manufacturing cost, TMC, you guys remember that earlier? If you guys don't want me to use abbreviations, just like let me know, but like it makes it go a little bit quicker. When I say TMC, I'm talking about total manufacturing cost. The formula for total manufacturing cost is DM plus DL plus MOH. So guys, our total manufacturing cost is the DM of 20,000 plus the DL of 55,000 plus the MOH of 17,800. All right, so 75,000 plus, let's see here, 75,000 plus 17,800, that'll give me 92,800. So that is the total cost of producing it, okay? Is that the answer to this question? Is 92,800? No, because they're asking me the cost to produce one. So guys, I encourage you, if this is the total cost to produce 1,000 helmets, how do we find the cost of one? Well, guys, find cost per unit equals the total cost divided by units produced. Hope everyone understands that. You want to find the cost of one, take the total and divide it by the amount you made. So if our total is 92,800, and we made 1,000, that'll give us the cost of one helmet as $92.8. All right, and I saw a bunch of 92.8s before, so you guys hope that you got the correct answer. All right, that is this question, guys. And now, okay, for those who made a mistake, I'm assuming you guys added period costs as well. In which case, guys, I encourage you guys to be very careful, okay? You have to go look at the wording, because a lot of times, guys, you'll get like, where people make mistakes in this course, if they get like too cocky, if they go like too quick. I always say you have to go, there's like things you can rush on and things you can't rush on, right? When you're actually reading the question, be careful. If they're asking you the cost to produce, you guys know that's a product cost. If they're asking you for the total cost, right? If they're asking for the total cost, then you add the period cost as well. Because like the total cost includes the cost to make it and the cost to sell it. So I encourage you guys just be very careful in reading. It says the cost to produce, therefore only product costs. Is that okay? Does everyone get this question? Or does everyone understand? If you didn't get it right, like I said, it's okay. Like you make mistakes here, not on your exam. All right? So that is our first problem, guys. And we will go get into the next one now.